What's up, Dungeons & Dragons fans? It's me, James, and thanks to my friends at Zatu Games, I've been sent a thing. It's Spelljammer, and I'm going to take a look through what's inside this very weighted thing to find out what it's all about, what's inside it, why you might want it, and then, tell you where you can get one. Odds. First thing you see when you open it up is you'll see there's, 3 books inside and another thing. But what's the other thing, I hear you ask, James? Well, the other thing is this. It's a DM screen. Just look how pretty. Look at all the arts. The useful things inside. I'm going to show you the other side. Hold on. Here it is. So this is the art on this side. It's a space whale. And then there's just stuff. Very useful things about flying your ship and all the different planes of existence. And it's not usually vertical, but yeah, really useful, especially if you're going to play the game. And the game is in here in one of the other books. Look at the books. It comes in a very useful box for keeping them safely inside. So you can keep them all together. So, 3 books inside. Let me take you through them very briefly. First one you want to go and look at is this one. It's the Astral Adventurer's Guide. Now, this is like the rule set that sort of sets out the rules. Hey, that's kind of an easy thing to think about, isn't it? It's kind of got all the hows and the whats and the wherefores and the ship designs, and let me show you more ships. And basically, it's like the player's handbook, essentially, the DM's guide for how to do Spelljammer. It actually explains what spelljammers are. Now, if you don't know a little bit about them, very quick overview. Essentially, spelljamming is like the way you fly ships in space. There's all sorts of rules about how gravity works. It's not how you think. Trust me, I've looked it up. There's like a plane of existence that happens, and then there's interactions between different sized ships and how gravity changes based on where you interact with them and the size of the ship and the damage that's been caused. It's really cool. Very clever. In fact, so clever that, gravity things aside, I have decided that this is the new way that I'll be implementing pirates ship control in Royal Britannia, because it just makes sense. And also it's official rules, so I guess my podcast could do with a few more of those because it's very homebrew. Anyway, this is kind of the rule set. And once you've got that inside, just so you know, there is like a really cool thing in the back of it. There's look at this. It has like an actual map of. Hold on, I think I can remove this. Hold on, bear with me. Look, it unfolds. It's big. And I'm never going to be able to do this one-handed, but you can see there's an actual map. I'll not unfold the whole thing because I'll never get it back in. Anyway, that's the rule set. It's the Astral Adventurer's Guide. And then you will find 2 games. 2 sets of games. Look. Woo! 2 sets of games. You can just about see them there. And they are playable games using the new rule sets with all the new species and sort of classes and all these things that are in there. I think some of my favourites. I think my favourite new species that's in there, kin, if you will, is the Auto Gnome, which is what happens when you take a Warforge and a gnome and you mix the 2 things. There's some really cool lore behind how they're made. So yeah, essentially, it's kind of everything you need to play space pirates. And if you're like me and you're old enough to remember when Treasure Planet came out in the cinema and were young enough to go and see it at the time, then you'll have kind of secretly always wanted to play a game of space pirates. And, that tied in with the fact that Firefly is probably a large portion of your life if you're watching this. And if you haven't watched it, go and watch it. So that's a little quick rundown of the things that you might find in there, including things like astral elves and insects and plasmoids and all sorts of fun things. You'll learn all about how using a Spelljammer helm, which is like a magical helm which allows you to fly a ship in space, and not all the ships look like spaceships. Some of them genuinely look like 2-mast like pirate ships, and I'm very excited about that because I'm going to find a way to work that into my game. So that's Spelljammer. Thank you very much, Zatu Games, for sending it to me. My players are not going to know what hit them, and maybe neither will yours.